I have a question. How come Damon can tell this group of men not to address Heavenly, but when King tells Greg not to address Quad, everybody has an issue with it? Anybody?
Abusive. You tore the television off the wall. You took the battery out of my car one time. You drugged me through the house. You ruined my knee. Yes, and I still have pain from that. Horrible. You put your hand over my mouth and my nose one time, trying to suffocate me. You got in the car and said, I don't care if I kill the both of us, and you put your foot on the gas. We're not going to play this game, Gregory.
Why?
Gregory?
We both know who the violent person is.
You are.
Yeah.
You are.
Okay.
You're both accusing each other of physical abuse?
Absolutely, there was. Absolutely.
There were times when we got too physical, but I never felt good about it.
Anyone have any thoughts?
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Bonnie Scotch. Thank you so much for clicking on my video today. I wanted to bring you a review for Married to Medicine. This is season 11, episode 11. Fabulous episode, honey. These past two episodes, and I know the next one is going to be good. I would imagine that it is. But before we get started on this review, go ahead and hit the like button for me. When you hit the like button, it is a free way to support my channel, and it also lets YouTube know that I am here and that you all are rocking with my commentary. So YouTube starts to shoot my content out to other viewers. Y'all, listen. I'm prepared to tussle. I'm prepared to... Okay? Phaedra's not wrong, and neither is King. Let's go ahead and get into it because we ain't got no time to waste, okay? I took a lot of notes for this episode, okay? I have a lot of opinions. Quad is such a polarizing figure, but I feel like on this show in particular, and with Quad in particular, that people refuse to see past their bias. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into it, shall we? So we started this episode with Quad and King having a conversation about what happened the night before. King thinks that them having this conversation about the sex that they have is kind of what started it all off. And he's right. Because whenever him and Quad said that they have sex 15 times a week, Sweet Tea, for whatever reason, decided to call her a liar. Or them, rather, because she said, somebody's lying. Are you in their bedroom? So Quad turned around and said, 15 times a week. And she started getting into it. And she started going into how much she loves her new man and how much she wants to marry him and have his babies and all of these things. Okay? Now, Greg escalated it when he started cursing at Quad. Y'all, everybody feels like, oh, Quad was doing too much. Greg wasn't doing too much, though, when he brought his new wife on the show and married her. On the show that his ex-wife is the star of. Greg wasn't doing too much then, though. Oh, okay. Okay. Anyway, so then we have Greg and Sweet Tea having a conversation, and she says that she is confused about what happened the night before. We know that you're confused, babe. So, I'm going to do my best to try to walk you through what actually happened, okay? Greg says, I got pissed off when Quad said that I left you and she was acting superior. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this last week. I had it in my notes. Here's my issue. Sometimes I'll have all of these notes and I'll just look at the top of the paragraph of what I started to say, excuse me, and then I'll go off on that tangent instead of like going through thoroughly all of my notes. But anyway, did y'all peep how at the elevator in the last episode, Greg started to call Quad a hood rat? He was like, I told you I don't want you talking to that. I told you I don't want you talking to her. It was given he was about to say hood rat. So he says that he didn't like that she was acting superior and she was acting as though she had to endorse their relationship. But it shouldn't have been taken in that way because this is the woman that you chose. Quad saying, I think that she's perfect for my ex-husband should not have been a dig. Because you wanted her. You married her. So why were you insulted by that? You should have said, thank you, Quad. I appreciate that coming from you. Like, you could have taken some of the sting off of it, even if you did feel some sting in it. So Sweet Tea is saying, I don't know why, but Quad has some very weird behaviors. And Greg is like, well, I know how she gets when she gets drunk. And then production shows all of these clips of Quad laughing while she's drunk. As if to say, what was she doing while she was drunk besides laughing out loud? And what do you mean by you know how she gets? How does she get? Production, you ate that. You ate that. Y'all are sickening for that.
That's sickening.
Greg said that to an extent that seeing Quad drunk upset him. He says that yelling and getting angry like that, that's not me. But that's exactly who you were when you were with Quad. That's exactly who Quad said that you were. We saw you do it to Sweet Tea just last week. So you did that in public. You did that in front of the cameras. Imagine how you act behind closed doors. So I know that everything Quad was saying about you is true. You have not changed. Greg told Sweet Tea, I apologize for yelling at you last night, but I don't apologize for feeling the way that I felt. How did you feel? You haven't voiced how you felt at all. Was it feelings of jealousy? Was it feelings of envy? Because we still don't know. How did you feel? So you never voiced how you felt. And before you get angry, there's a whole other range of emotions before you get all the way up here. So I just did a quick Google search on the emotions wheel, and look at all of the information I found. So Dr. Gregory, I suggest that you utilize this tool that you don't seem to have already. Were you hurt? Were you neglected? Were you jealous? Were you envious? Which one was it? What led you to anger? Because there are so many emotions before you get there. And as a psychiatrist, I would think that you knew that. As a trained, licensed professional, I would assume that you knew that. Greg says that he regrets losing his cool in some ways, but he spoke his mind. The issue isn't that you spoke your mind. The issue is that you cursed at Quad for no reason. And that is what escalated everything, okay? At that point, King had turned around. I don't think he clocked. Well, obviously, we learned, later on in the episode that he didn't even clock that you were telling Quad that she has a big effing mouth. Once again, everybody is saying that Quad is wrong. She was doing too much. She's rubbing this in his face. But when Gregory brought this lady here last year, it wasn't a problem. So I'm just trying to understand the hypocrisy. I'm trying to understand the double standard here. Baby, it's the internalized misogyny for me. Because I know that 90-something% of the audience of this show is black women. To see y'all in the comments, in Jasmine Brand, Shade Room, Neighborhood Talk, All True Tea, wherever it is, to see y'all down in the comments defending Gregory, dislocating your arm to make a reach to defend this man is really, really something. Greg says, I'm not about negativity. I didn't come here for all that. Well, last year at the Med Gala, when you brought your new wife around, Quad hugged you for some odd reason. I just thought it was odd that she hugged you, especially seeing as y'all had those domestic disputes. Yeah, that was a little bit strange for me, but everybody works things out in their own way. She addressed you and your new wife. And then this year, y'all go on a trip together. You see her and her new man, and you don't choose to address them. So you're the negativity in the situation. Erica De Niro TV pointed this out last week. Shout out to her. But Greg is going on and on about, I don't want any more negativity. You're the negativity. Because everybody was fine until you opened your mouth. Gregory is saying that somebody has to be the adult in the room. Nigga, you were the one who started losing your mind, though. You were the one who started yelling and flying off at the handle. Babe, 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 you be good. And the lady wasn't even raising her voice. You were the one who started going into this childlike tantrum. Gregory has the least amount of self-awareness on this show. And then to see the general audience running to take his side is absolutely insane. I know y'all don't like Quad, but the lengths that I'm seeing people are going to defend him because he's a doctor. He knew he was a doctor when he put his hands on Greg. He knew he was a doctor when he started yelling and carrying on when they were at the beach the night before. Or, playing that game with Heavenly and them the night before. He knows he's a doctor. Y'all care more about his reputation than he does. Gregory says, I was trying to protect you. You were going at her. Y'all, he is manipulating her and gaslighting her in this moment because Sweet Tea didn't even say anything to her that was too crazy. She didn't get loud with her one time. I watched that episode back 3 times. Sweet Tea was responding to everything that Quad was saying. Was she supposed to just sit there and let Quad talk at her? Because otherwise, if she did, it would have been like, babe, speak up for yourself. Why are you not speaking up for yourself? So it's a double bind, right? It's a damned if you do it, damned if you don't situation. I just think it's wild that Greg is the one who got out of control and he is putting it all off on Sweet Tea, when he was the one who started yelling and cursing at her first. He tells her, I'm expecting you to be this elder wise person, but you're not. But Gregory, you're not either. You're not setting a good example for Sweet Tea. You're supposed to be this elder wise person in this age gap relationship. How old is she? Like in her early 30s. You're in your early 60s. Ridiculous. So now we have Steve, Mimi, Eugene, and Toya going to have lunch together. I am enjoying Mimi and Steve so far. I did think that Mimi was doing a little bit too much at first, but I'm warming up to her. I feel like she's relaxed in her spirit a bit. I did appreciate that they clocked as well as pointed out that Toya added some gasoline to the fire from the night before. We get this scene where Heavenly is explaining to Simone and Jackie that she invited Apollo. Heavenly did tell Phaedra that she was inviting Apollo, and Phaedra told her, all right, well, surprise me. So she didn't seem to mind. So now we have everybody on the boat. By the way, Contessa has on this crochet cover up. It's like a little pant mesh cover up. I need the pattern for that because I need to make it. I loved what Contessa had on. I need that pattern. I need it. All right, so now we have Apollo showing up, okay? Now, he was expected to come by himself, but he pops up with his wife, Sheree. Phaedra let us know that this is the side chick that Apollo was dealing with while she was pregnant with her youngest son. So she was with this man while he was in jail. Sheree, that is. She was writing letters to him. She was putting money on his books. That's the type of woman that she is. So Apollo greets Shek. Sheree greets Shek. Obviously, now we know that they truly know each other. Apollo is off to the side telling Quad this is wild and that this is his boy. This is some bullshit. How is this bullshit when you showed up to your ex's function where she's filming with your current wife that you were cheating on her with? How is this bullshit? Apollo, why are you even here? I know why you're here, but why are you here? I know you're here because Heavenly invited you, but why are you here? I'm not about to play this game with Apollo. Now listen, y'all. I'm about to say something very controversial. I'm about to shake the table up a little bit.
Y'all finna jump me? Be honest.
I don't feel like Phaedra is wrong for dating Apollo's friend. I really don't. I don't feel like she's wrong, y'all. I feel like Phaedra can date whoever she wants to. Phaedra can date his friend. She can date his barber. She can date his brother. She can date his daddy. She can date his mechanic. She can date his plumber. And you want to know why? Phaedra doesn't owe Apollo any loyalty. That's her ex. Now, regardless of whether or not he cheated or stepped out, I don't care. Phaedra does not owe that man any loyalty. If anybody owes Apollo loyalty, it's his friend. It's Shek, however you say his name. Shek is the only one that you should be checking here. So I don't know why you're talking to Quad about, oh, that's foul and da-da-da-da-da. You shouldn't have anything to say to or about your ex-wife. That's her business, and it ain't none of y'all's. Now, I'm prepared to windmill in the comments. I don't care. Steve is introducing himself to Apollo, and they learned that, Steve used to play ball, and they're like, all right, so when we're going to throw some ball around, we're going to have a push-up contest or what? And then, they challenge them into a push-up contest. Eugene is like, come on, y'all, do we have to do this? Like, I'm trying to relax. I'm on vacation. Let me tell you something. Eugene had me cracking up, okay? So he's annoyed that they want to, have this, They want to get that testosterone off them. He's like, niggas, can we just enjoy our vacation, enjoy our time together? And then Gregory gets real excited this time because he takes this as a personal challenge, okay? He's like, oh, I'm not going to pass up the opportunity to do 25 push-ups in front of Quad's new man. Y'all, he starts doing these push-ups. And the whole time he's doing the push-ups, he's like, Letitia, 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 Letitia. Gregory, are you trying to convince yourself or are you trying to convince us? That was so odd. Y'all, did y'all catch when Steve threw a little bit of shade in the confessional? He was like, listen, shout out to Gregory. He did impress me with his push-ups. But next time, don't make it so weird. I said, you ate that. So Eugene says to King, listen, I appreciate you coming into the group and getting to know us. You seem like a really positive person, and I appreciate that about you. And King says, I appreciate you all welcoming me here and making me feel so comfortable. And then Greg interrupts. Greg cuts him off. He didn't even finish his sentence. Did y'all catch that? Greg interrupts and says, I don't mean any disrespect. I haven't gotten to know you. It's been really awkward, and I don't mean any disrespect to her either. We just have a history, and she was speaking over my new marriage, and it bothered me. He said, I didn't handle it the best way, no disrespect. King said, I understand you guys have a history and it's obvious, you know, we can't change the past. Gregory says, all I said was you talk too effing much. King says, you said that to her? And Greg was like, yeah, I said it to her. Now, y'all, why would he do that? Gregory has, once again, the worst de-escalation skills. Why would you go out of your way to tell this woman's man that you told her to shut her effing mouth? You wanted to get some shit jumping. You wanted to kind of flex your muscle a little bit. You wanted to kind of have the upper hand. You wanted to try to punk King. You wanted to see how far you could take it because you assumed that nothing was going to happen because all of the guys were around. So you kind of wanted to have this moment. I peeped that about you, Greg, because okay, let's say, for instance, King did clock that Gregory did say that. You brought it up again. You brought it up again to be antagonistic and be disrespectful. So what was he supposed to say in this moment? Yeah. So those who are on Greg's side, I want y'all to tell me how that was okay. That he ran that back. That he ran back that specific detail that he disrespected her. Please. I understand you feel like you were upset that she felt the need to speak over your relationship because she says, I think y'all are perfect together. But she said that I chose to leave this man and it was the truth. She told the truth. Sometimes the truth just hurts. And sometimes the delivery of the truth hurts as well. But it was all the truth. And what was wrong with her saying, I think that she's the perfect woman for my ex-husband? Yeah, she's endorsing it. Why should that have been a problem? Why would that be an issue? You married her. You chose her. You should have said thank you and kissed her right then and there. And I'm happy to be with my woman, regardless of what you say. You could have went back at it like that, but you chose not to. You said you're not happy for anybody. You know, you have a big effing mouth. That's what you did. You married her. So Quad saying that should not be an insult once again. Anyway, Scott says, listen, man, y'all need to let the sun set on all that shit that happened last night. And King said, I don't think so. I want y'all who were Team Gregory and Team Sweet Tea to tell me how it's okay that Greg told this man to his face that he told Quad that she needs to keep her effing mouth shut. Now we about to pull over on this one again because I want to ask y'all, do y'all think that Gregory would have said that to Dr. Damon? I told Heavenly that she needs to shut her effing mouth. Do you think that he would have uttered those words to Damon? Please explain it to me like I'm 5 years old. I know that everybody has different comprehension skills. I'm saying it's different for everybody. And I want y'all to explain it to me like I'm 5 years old so that we can all be on the same page here. Explain it to me how it's okay that Greg said that to this man. What was the expectation here? My issue is that Greg wanted to provoke, and then King got provocative, and now it's an issue. Now, after King said, I don't think so, everybody got nervous, okay, including me. I was like, oh shit, is it about to go down right now? Like, is he about to, you know what I'm saying? So Eugene is like, well, you know, I think that that if we just, Cecil, help me out. While Eugene is stuttering and trying to find the words, you see Scott digging his toes through the sand like a little child. Like, it's this nervous energy throughout the group. Everybody's looking around like everybody is on notice right now. This was some shit out of like a TV series, out of a movie. Like, I felt like it was like written perfectly and performed perfectly, but it wasn't written. It was not a performance. Like, Eugene being like, well, you know, that I and stuttering, trying to, like, that shit was comedy. Great. Just everybody played their part here. I loved it. Now, King says that obviously there is some trauma there and there are still some triggers because, duh, Quad has told him what has happened in her relationship. She's shared her experience. So he knows what happened. So now, Greg all of a sudden decides he wants to get up and walk towards King hard and fast. What was the reason for him to do that, y'all? I just find it surprising that the audience didn't take that as an act of aggression as well. The two acts of aggression here was him telling King that he told Quad to shut the F up. Shut your effing, no, you got a big effing mouth. And then he walked up on that man. 2 in a row. 2 acts of aggression in a row. I didn't see anybody saying that Greg was wrong for that. Greg says to King, if I had known you, I promise you, you could ask any of these guys. I would have addressed you. And I hope that you're willing to stand up for her. Greg said, I would hope that you're willing to stand up for her. Did y'all catch that? So what was the issue? King says, definitely. And then Craig says, okay, good. Like, in this, like, really, it was the tone in which he said it, which I could tell made King defensive. And King was like, all right, we good. And then Gregory was like, we ain't got no problem. And King was like, yeah, we don't have a problem. Why did Greg get out of his seat to walk to King and say that? If I had known you, I promise you, you could ask any of these guys. I would have addressed you. So you had to know him to address him? Interesting. Okay. So the ladies are in the water with Sheree, and Sheree is telling the ladies to stop calling Chet Phaedra's man because he's everybody's man in Atlanta. You had your legs open to married men.
Close your legs to married men. Close your legs to married men. You heard me? Close your legs to married men.
What Phaedra does is none of your business. This is so weird. Why are you even here, girl? And she seems like she's upset that Phaedra is with Apollo's friend. Once again, it's none of your business. You're the new wife and you're speaking on your current husband's ex-wife's business. This is just, it's the weirdest side chick behavior. What happened when the sideline hoes used to shut up? What happened when the sideline hoes used to shut the fuck up and be the sideline hoes? Sideline hoes wasn't jumping up to try to be on TV, wasn't jumping up to let us know that they was dating married niggas or whatever. Like, I don't know. Can we go back to that? We used to be a proper country. So Chet comes over and the ladies start questioning him about how do you know Sheree, and Toya is asking him a bunch of questions. Now, for those of you who are new to my channel, I am a part of the LGBT community, okay? I put the B in LGBT.
Black, bisexual, angry, sad, strong, sensitive, scared, fierce, talented, exhausted.
Now, I'm gonna let y'all in on a little bit of a joke that I've had with a lot of my gay, queer, bisexual, you know, whatever friends. In different groups of friends that I have, we play this game. It's like an unspoken game, but when we're out with each other and we see other people that we think are gay or we think that they're queer, we'll go, homosexuals. And with this most recent group of queer friends that I have, if we see anybody in the streets that we perceive as queer, we'll go, LGBT. LGBT, we don't point, but you know. LGBT. Radar is on. We just see each other. We see each other. We have fun that way, okay? Now, when I saw a check on my screen last week, I said LGBT. When I saw him again this week, I said LGBT. Y'all, my gaydar tends to not be wrong. I know my people. It's no shade to check. I love the gays, the theys, the bisexuals, everybody, okay? I love my people. I really, really do. What I'm saying is that I know my people. Apollo tells Phaedra and Check that both of them are being sneaky right now. Apollo, again, why are you even here? Why are you here? This is Phaedra's friend group. Leave us alone. Sheree says, Apollo, I told you that Faye was da-da-da. And then Phaedra is like, I'm not Faye, you bad-built bitch. Shereen, you had that coming. Shereen says Apollo doesn't give an F about you. But girl, he came all the way to Key West where his ex-wife is on a couples trip. So if he doesn't give an F, why is he there now? And why is he questioning her about her being with his friend? You're not even making no sense, girl. Where do y'all find these people?
My God, there's room for everybody. Let's just say that.
So now Sweet Tea is like, well, who invited Shereen? Sweet Tea, once again, I don't like to call people stupid, but you're tempting me. Why else would she be invited? Girl, what's going on up here? Why do you think she brought you on the show? Why do you think Heavenly brought you on the show, girl? It took you 2 years to figure that one out. So how long is it going to take you to figure out why Shereen is here? I really do think that part of the appeal for Greg with Sweet Tea is that she doesn't have it all up here. I'm not trying to be mean or nothing, but did y'all see Watch What Happens Live? First of all, Andy don't like her. Second of all, production was eating her up. Every question was Quad geared. Everything was about, oh, well, how do you feel about living in Quad's new house? And I was like, oh, they hate her. They hate her. And she was sitting up there wearing a dress that Quad was wearing in her confessional. You got on this lady's dress. You living in that lady's house with all of her furnishings. You married her man. Her ex-husband, excuse me. You named your speed dating event after her seasoning, sweet and savory. Hers is sweet and savory as well. Girl, you're obsessed. So Sweet Tea calls Heavenly a razor big back bitch. No shade, Sweet Tea, but Heavenly's back is not that much bigger than yours. You don't have a petite back yourself.
No shade.
They break out into this fight, Letitia and Heavenly. So after that skirmish, King decides to pull Greg to the side, and he is saying, listen, I think it's a perfect time to pull him to the side because I'm going to get Greg away from the other men so he doesn't feel like he has to put on this show for the other men. He doesn't feel like he has to prove himself. So he also clocked that this was a game for Gregory. Like he wanted to, I have to show how manly I am. I'm manly. And I have to tell you that I disrespected your lady, and I gotta do push-ups. Letitia. Yeah, so King clocked the situation appropriately. Are we seeing how performative masculinity is? King says, listen, the shit that happened last night, I'm gonna let it slide, but you don't need to talk to her anymore. Greg says, tell her to stop saying things to me. King says, I'm not telling her anything. I know about the past. And Greg is like, well, you know her side of the past. You don't know my side. And King is like, well, tell me something different. Greg says, you're going to find out. That was the third threat. That was the third act of aggression, because what did he mean by that? I don't see anybody going after Greg for saying that, though. Greg says to King, I figured you were like that because I know how your girl is. King says, what the fuck are you talking about? And then he starts charging after him and running after him. Okay, Check is trying to hold King back, but you're not going to hold that big ram of a man. We didn't get to see what happened because they cut us off on some to be continued. But I know that when I saw it, I was hooting and hollering at the TV. I said, King, get him! Kick his ass! Kick him all in his ass! I also find it funny that the people who are ordinarily like, protect black women, y'all don't protect black women, are the same ones talking about how King was wrong for pressing Greg. But we'll see what happens next week. I just think it's funny that everybody is okay with Dr. Damon telling all of these men, don't address Heavenly, address me. But when King says it, everybody has an issue. How could King say that? Who is he talking to? And why does he get to talk to Damon says it, it's no issue. Oh, all right. Anyway, y'all, that was the episode. Go ahead and get down in the comments with me. Let me know how you felt about this one. You already know I want to hear from you. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the like button on your way out. And I will see y'all for the... Oh, wait. Hit the notification bell so you know when I'm posting. And I'll see y'all for the next one. Peace.
Come on. It's me, Al Grande. Or call me Papi Chulito. Yo tengo mucho loving for you mommies if you legal. For honeys, nothing equal to the way I tap that spot. Get your cat hot. Guess what? You hit the jackpot. Candlelight dinners for you winners. See, I'm like Don Juan. Beat me, sweetie. I get in ya. Sugar, I'ma put you in a beautiful...